Mayor Fred Eisenberger joins us tonight to reflect on what has been a busy weekend in the city and the fact that COVID numbers have been climbing here. Mayor, we saw a single-day high yesterday with 95 new cases. It's a worry for many and leaving people wondering if a lockdown is looming.
Well, it's certainly possible. So, the threshold number is 100 cases per 100,000, and we're at 91. So, I'd like to think that we can avoid a lockdown. Let's try not to, overwhelm our healthcare system, and let's try and avoid this lockdown. Lockdown is significant. It basically means that everything that's open right now, restaurants, small shops and businesses, gyms, all get shuttered the way they were sometime in, April, May, and June. So, not something to look forward to, and I'm hopeful that we can keep those numbers down and avoid that.
With all this new information, we really appreciate that you have been communicating with us every weekend and providing updates, especially with the new details coming out almost every day. For 3 weekends in a row now, Hamilton Public Health has canceled an interview with CHCH News, and we're just wondering what your response is to this.
Well, I think on the weekend, they're busy updating the numbers, and I'm not sure, what their rationale is. So I haven't spoken to Dr. Elizabeth as to why they won't, but I'll certainly raise that with them. I'm not. I'm more interested in providing more information rather than less. But the challenge is always, as the numbers come in, there's always a lag time in terms of those numbers, and so trying to get updated information, takes a little while. It takes an awful lot of work for people to put it together, and obviously weekends, may not be, highly staffed moments in time, and so they may have some staffing challenges to be able to provide that. But I'm sure it's not that they don't want to share information with it. They just want to make sure that the information they do provide is accurate and up to date, and not inaccurate, because then they'll get criticism for providing information that isn't in tune with what's actually happening out there in the community.
Switching to a scene that's outside City Hall right now, the tents, the protest that's been ongoing for days now. Jason Guidola has reported tonight on the Defund the Police rally that's ongoing. What are the next steps going forward, and do you plan on going there tonight to meet with the organizers?
I do not. We've offered an opportunity for them to meet and have a conversation, for us to listen to their concerns directly in City Hall. I'm not going to go and stand on the plaza and create a confrontation, or create a scenario where they're potentially going to identify that as support for the cause. I do not support defunding the police, and we absolutely support the drive to provide more housing, and we have. So for us as a city, we've provided a $50 million housing plan over 10 years, plus that's over and above the housing initiatives that we're currently undertaking throughout this pandemic. We've provided housing for some 50 individuals for permanent housing through the pandemic, as well as some 250 individuals into shelter space. And we're relying on our federal and provincial partners to also come through with additional dollars, and they too have. And so just recently, we got $10.8 million in funding to address the affordable housing pressures. Unfortunately, it's going to take some time to get those units up and running, but they require that to be done within the year, and a number of the projects that we currently have in the fold are likely to happen in that time frame as well. So we're doing everything possible to provide stable shelter space or for affordable housing for folks, and we'll continue that drive as we go forward.
Mayor Eisenberger, thank you for your time tonight. We'll see you next weekend. I should note it's nice to see the Christmas decorations behind you there. We'll have a story coming up on that a little later in the newscast.
It is the most wonderful time of the year. We're going to try and make it as wonderful as we can.